I'd like to call this joint meeting to order on October 14th, 2025 at 5:30 for the select board.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Woodstock Village Board of Trustees to order for a joint meeting at 5:30 on October 14th. First item on the agenda is additions and deletions from the posted agenda. Is there anything from the trustees or from Eric?
I usually pick off the covered bridge repairs item. We're still working on getting the quotes for the select board's recommendation.
Anything else? Trustees?
Select board. Goals and objectives.
Yes, I'm not sure how the board wanted to handle this. We met, I think 2 weeks ago. I made a presentation on all the goals and objectives the town met last year. We started to put together different goals and objectives for this year. I have an Excel sheet. I think last year we kind of put the Excel sheet up on the big screen, kind of went through and talked about the feeling on each goal and objective. We'll want to do that. We're happy to do that. If you want to receive feedback from the residents first, if you want to have a discussion among yourself, whatever way you guys want to proceed.
What did we do last year?
Last year we put it up on the Excel sheet and we went through and kind of rated where the board thought each goal should fall within your priority for the year.
But we have addition on this one from our last meeting.
Sorry?
I think we have additional.
Yeah, so different board members have sent me additional goals that I included in the Excel sheet. So I'm happy to put that up and go over that if you want. Okay. So just go over most of the first few, I guess, a lot of kind of holdovers from last year. So the main wastewater plant upgrade, merger of the town and village, to redirect and condense committees and commissions, create a capital plan, traffic calming, pedestrian safety in the village, improve the foliage experience. I'm not sure if that was for tourists or residents or both last year, but we consider it both for now. Improve off-season tourism. Improve town hall meeting tech, update the zoning bylaws, regular short-term rentals, shared services and staffing, repair and improve village buildings, improve communication with the public, pursue floodplain restoration projects, resize culverts. Those are kind of the holdovers from last year. Some new thing this year is quarterly joint board meetings to review the goals and progress. I think last year we created these and then we didn't really visit them besides internally. So this will allow us to kind of meet every quarter for the board to kind of get a sense of where we are with the progress. Improve bill and tracking for water and sewer. Now that we own the water system, we're working internally and trying to find ways to track and do some billing. Merger study from what I presented last meeting, the ability for the boards to direct myself and my staff to analyze what a merger will look like and provide those findings to the boards at a later time. Schedule maintenance for village equipment, parks, etc. Put together a strategic communication plan, board protocols. So this is something we did early on when I started, and we kind of got away from that of, you know, when an agenda needs to be set, you know, things we add to the agenda afterwards, a booklet, also how board members should interact publicly with each other, and things like that. Support of the economic development director, Abby Sherman's here tonight, the new economic development director. So kind of, that was someone a board member mentioned. Merging duplicate boards, similar to condensing the other boards we have earlier. That was a new one that came up this year. Carrying upkeep of village parks, increase village reserves. So that'll be the capital reserves to increase, you know, a stabilization fund or cash for the village to have in savings for a case of emergency. Develop and execute a 5-year housing development plan. Build and lead a robust marketing program, and lastly, revised town plan. So that is 39, oh, sorry, about 30 different goals and objectives, that we have in front of the board. So those are whole of last year, and then, new ones this year that, have been added.
Can any of these be put together?
I think so,
Yes, they definitely can.
yeah.
So maybe that's where we should start.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I said, can they be, some of these be put together, so it's
Oh, yeah.
like 30 separate things, can we start there?
And what I will say, sorry, I saw this, on the agenda that has been posted, there are kind of time limits next to the items. Trustees do have a meeting at 6:30, so we are kind of under a time crunch, and we do have to do a few other items as well. So this conversation takes no more than 45 minutes. That also hopefully allow for citizens' comments if there are any. We do have another meeting scheduled
Next Tuesday,
next Tuesday at 8 AM, I believe, so can you start with it?
no, before the select board meeting,
Yes.
and then the next Thursday is 8 AM.
Thank you.
Sure.
So there are meetings, more meetings, to go over these, but I think it'd be a good start for us to kind of get the ball rolling.
That's why I suggested, let's see if we can put them
Absolutely.
together.
Put
so
them
that
together and then do the new ones.
Do the new one.
Yeah.
How does everyone feel about that?
Works for me.
Now that I've said it, no, I.
No, Lisa.
Well, it's easy to put together, redirect the condensed committees and commissions with merging different on the second page. Versus merging different, you're looking for merging
Yeah.
different points. That would all be one.
Which one?
So, yep. Redirecting consent condense along with merging
Merging the community.
boards.
Trying to put together economic development. So. Would that be a marketing team as well as,
I think,
we had a like goal under that economic development?
I think I would, which one do you want? to say?
Well, I was looking at this one and then there's a couple others. This one, build and lead a marketing program, and then I don't know if the 5-year housing is all a separate thing, but working on things like improve off-season tourism.
I think off-season tourism and the, lead a robust marketing program to be the same, but open to feedback from the rest of the board.
You have to talk louder for the end of the
Yeah.
table.
I think that, lead a robust marketing program and support, what's the other? Support off-season, improve off-season tourism could be merged together. But open to feedback on that. I think the support the economic development director goal is not specific enough. I don't know that I would pull that into the same goal.
Is there any objection to merging those two goals?
I would merge the maintenance schedule for village equipment parks and care and upkeep of village park.
What was that first one?
Manage schedule for village equipment parks, et cetera,
Okay, got it.
and then care and upkeep of village parks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Do that together.
And while we're merging, we can merge the merger study with the merge of town and village.
I would actually just push back a little bit on that. I think, at least in my mind, those are two different things, and
But one comes before the other. kind of.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think if you want to do that as one thing, as long as we understand it,
Like a sub goal of the other.
yes.
So on repair and improve village buildings, where would that come? Like out of nowhere, can we do that?
That
Does
would,
that mean village?
that would come
that
with
are owned by
capital,
the town?
village capital reserves.
I think last year that was, a hope for to find grants or other things to repair, less than ideal infrastructure, you know,
Facade.
buildings, facade, yes, and
Oh, okay.
village, yeah.
I think you can almost merge traffic calming, pedestrian safety, and improve foliage experience in the same.
So Lisa and I were talking that a little bit offline, I think, and so that was the trustees from last year. I think the traffic calming pedestrian safety is more
Yeah, those are two different things.
overall, yeah, so that's, you know, do you make Route 4 2 lanes instead of one? Do you find ways to make people going slower through the town, through the village? Where the tourist experience might be a little more like food on the green or, you know, Ambassador or by the bus stops. So I think they fit in the same like broad category, but I think they might be a little too different for.
I don't know who put in project management and analysis software procedure. That was me. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I know what it's about. Okay. So,
You asked me to.
yeah, I-
look
that's
for
the
it, like,
word. Okay. So I think it's the village, especially when we have such highs and lows of tourism and all that goes with tourism and holidays and things like that. We need to put together a strategic plan that looks at, okay, we start with a checklist. Okay, it's foliage. Well, we need 2 pickup trashes on Saturday and Sunday. We need this amount of this happening, this amount, instead of going back over and over again over the same stuff we go over a year. We should have a plan in place in the future, looking at the past data and collecting new data that says, okay, this is what we see, this is what we need now, instead of waiting till 2 months before foliage. We should have everything in place way before, so we can always revise the plan. But we kind of need to start looking at this as a year-round. You know, I kind of do this in my mind, the 1, 3, 5 year plan, and it's kind of like, we need to be building this plan for the entire year versus worrying about this plan 3 months before each individual thing's happening. So that's my goal here, and this is more village related. But we just keep rebuilding, we just keep doing the same things over and over again when we can just put it together as a plan. Does the village trustees understand me? I kind of talked in a circle, I know. We reinvent the wheel every year.
It would be good to put things down while they're fresh in our minds
Right,
and
and,
apply them in advance for next year. I agree with that.
okay. Brenda,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yes.
That was mine, so mine is done, Jack.
Can I just ask Lisa, would you see owning that?
A village.
Oh, no, 100%. I just mean like in terms of like procuring the software or doing the documentation or implementing the timeline. But do you see that being the trustees?
I see a lot of it being the trustees, but we don't have the software. Obviously, you know, I don't know what software is needed. I know there's a lot of things here that we can do. We have the information. I hadn't got that far on the software yet. But I see a lot of this work can be done by trustees.
I wonder, Lisa, I see what you're trying to do with this, and I'm trying to figure out sort of what it is would be our, like, what would be our next steps and what is sort of the broad goal here? And I think what you're saying is like, we need to be more prepared for everything that happens all the time. And so I don't know if that's necessarily a software thing. I would almost start with the data gathering, like what do we want to know? And so almost I don't know, just a yearly plan or.
Yeah, I mean, I think we start with a checklist.
If I could just,
Yeah.
interrupt, I don't think, I don't see want to, I don't want to get in the weeds on one item right now. If we want to kind of go over the broader strokes on it, or if we want to start going through and ranking, you know, I think we'd love to
Yeah.
do it scale 1 to 10.
Didn't need to keep everybody.
So I don't know if we want to start there and kind of work our way from,
But we've already done a ranking. Want to rank new ones now? Or?
yeah, but also I mean, your ranking from last year, yeah, revisit what we had last year. And,
Yeah.
Oh.
you know, so the Jeffrey's point, maybe we sat down at the bottom and work our way up. So the first one is to revise the town plan.
I'll speak to,
Yeah.
I'll speak to this one since I added it. For those that don't know, we received a municipal planning grant that, our shared energy coordinator applied for. So we received funds to update our town plan and our future land use map. This is like a key part, one, because it's statutorily required every 8 years or so, we have to update the plan. It actually might be more frequently now. And so this is a great opportunity for us to make sure, one, that the town plan matches what the community is feeling and thinking and where we want to go in the future. And so that work will be undertaken by the planning commission. The plan is right now, they're in the midst of reviewing the village zoning bylaws as we all voted on and agreed to last year. That work should be done in the new year. And so this work again would kick off probably February or March to update the future land use map and the town plan. It will require a lot of input, but mostly that work would be handled by the planning commission. And so, do you want us to rank it?
Yes, please.
10 being the most important and then being
We
the
can forward.
You can start.
It's yours. It is mine. I guess I would put it at 8. It needs to be done in order for us to do some key development things. And I think help with housing and development, especially in the village. But also because it hasn't been updated in a while. And it is supposed to be the document of truth for the municipality. So I would put it at, I say 7, I mean 8, yeah, I would put it at an 8, but open to feedback on that.
Laura, I've got a question.
Yeah,
Does the grant have a deadline on it? When
it
has to be-
does have a deadline on it. I'd have to go check on my notes, but right now we'd still be on track to do all the work within the time frame, I believe. It was a matching grant, so it doesn't cover all the costs, but I think it covers like
80%.
80% of the cost of us updating the town plan.
I've been 8, do I hear
I'll go,
Yeah,
I'll go
we
wait.
can do that.
anything lower, anything higher? 8, okay for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would put this under the objectives of housing and development, effective and efficient government. There will be sections where we deal with climate and resiliency and affordability, but those would be secondary to the first 2 goals, I would say.
Next, develop next 2 to 5-year housing development plan.
Also mine, John Spector's not here, so I want to give credit, but he was the one that suggested something, you do something like this. I think we've talked in, like, as a whole, we've talked about all of the many things that our new economic development director could do, but I think working with state agencies, with our regional planning commission, with local property owners, especially to secure grants, to identify parcels that would be ideal for development, identify any infrastructure issues, work with the town to identify any infrastructure issues, and help get shovels in the ground is, for me, a 10. But open to Abby's feedback on that, obviously, as well as the rest of the boards.
I guess my question would be, there's a lot on her plate, so is that the number one thing, or is some of the other?
I don't think we put anything on her plate.
Well, that's what
Yeah,
I'm asking,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
in here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're all discussing is like what we think is feasible, and again, in her, what she thinks is feasible too. So,
I think we made it clear that housing was going to be the number 1.
yeah.
Is this something you think the planning commission's gonna help with as well?
Yeah, so the planning commission is laying the foundation by doing the village bylaw reviews and basically making the bylaws a lot more usable for developers and development and property owners to use moving forward. I think that a lot of the things will be a lot of like one-on-one relationship building, which thankfully Abby has like a great network from the state in terms of agency of commerce and community development and other things. I think I think this could take up all of her time if we wanted it to. And again, identifying, especially now that we own the water company, what's feasible within the village and within the system and what would be needed to create more housing.
I think it's a priority, but I don't think we want it to take up all of her time.
Okay,
There's other economic development things. There's marketing that she would be involved with up to at least some level.
yeah, I mean, I think that I see her being, I think a lot of our marketing efforts all work to the same end. But I would still put this at a 10.
So with 10, do everything, I want to go, different number.
I'll go with 10 for housing.
Next up is increased village reserves. So this is monetarily, to kind of, I think it was Lisa's idea, but to kind of build up more financial stability in the village by having more reserves to help with any overages or any unexpected expenses that come up. I believe the most recent audit had the village undesignated fund balance at like $39,000. For reference, the town's at like 1.8 million. So that's kind of just the difference in the two funds. You know, there has been progress last few with the trustees. I think you were at deficits right before I came aboard. You know, being financially conservative, you guys have kind of built that up, but this would be really increasing the tax rates to have more funds coming into the village is the solution to this. Or a kind of service, you know, those are two things we're looking at.
I mean, I think I don't know that I would set maybe a 6 or a 7. I think it's something that we need to do, but I think we need to be looking at obviously revenue and other ways, because that, you know, I don't want the full weight to be borne by the taxpayers.
I agree. I agree.
So I probably put it at a 7. Yeah, 6 or 7 is fine.
Anyone else? Care and upkeep of village parks,
And maintenance schedule,
maintenance schedule, yeah.
I would put that at a 7.
I would put that, one of those was mine, because there's just, you know, I think we've had a lot of conversations, with people, especially this time of year, things get crazy, but just, you know, the amount of times that I see trash or there's weeds or whatever, and I think it's a basic thing that we just, as we've lost people or changed things, it's something that hasn't been a priority, and I think it needs to be, because I think that's just basic for, not for the people who live here and work here. They just want clean sidewalks and clean trash cans and tree branches that aren't falling off. So I think that plan should be an 8 or a 9. And that's something that we can do, trustees can mostly bear the burden of.
I was one of mine that I put into.
Yeah.
I agree. I would put that as 9, maybe even a 10. I think we have to accomplish something with this coming year. Improve that. And we will potentially also, we're looking at some help from the Woodstock Conservancy, although that's in its infancy. But there's something we have to do to improve that in this coming year.
I agree completely. Yeah, you have talked about this before. Yeah, I think it's something that we really need to try to work on, because nothing seems to be happening and it just keeps getting worse. Down on Treadwell Park, there's like a whole section of grass that's gone. Yeah, it looks awful.
I guess could I ask about this? Is the thing that we're ranking a plan, or is it to actually do the upkeep? Because is there, like, I think the upkeep requires staffing.
Oh, yeah, so I think it's the plan that I'm looking for, of like, what are I know years ago, Brenda has brought up times, you know, adoptive parks, or, so I think it can be a combination of staffing. Do we talk about volunteer? I think that there's a broad conversation to happen before we start saying, this is dollars and this is staff, but I think it just needs to be on our radar, because it's an everyday thing that I think we all hear about. So it needs to be a priority, because it's a priority for residents and businesses.
I think it needs to be both a plan and to some degree action.
Yeah.
That which we can handle.
Yeah, I think the way I envision this, and again, I could be wrong, is that this right now is going through importance, and then we take what we feel is the most important, and then we dig down onto those, figure out what we want to focus on, and then how to actually make it happen. So I think right now, this is just, you know, like we can say, it's a 10, but maybe then not come back to it. I think this is just kind of figuring out what, narrow down all the goals, so we get to, you know, the handful that we actually want to focus on for this year. So I think just having a number of points right now is probably enough to get started.
Yeah, it's still a 7 for me.
So I have like a 9, 10 from the village, I have a 7 from the select board is,
I kind of want to just throw this out there. Isn't that really under project management?
It's a different project. I thought you were talking about like an.
I know, but it's, all of this is project management in the village.
I think this is more specific.
Okay, that's fine.
support of the economic development director. She's in the room, so just be careful.
Or the wolves.
Okay, I would say, I mean, I would say this is a 10 on my end, but,
I agree.
I just, yeah, I want it to be specific, I think, to understand what it means.
yeah, I think we can flesh it out. For me, that's, you know, making sure that she has priorities, focus on that she has the support of those priorities, that if it's not a priority that we've directed her to focus on, then it doesn't, you know, necessarily come in front of her. That she has the support of the boards when she goes out in the public, and support of my office. So when she's talking to someone, they know it's coming from the boards themselves, or that they'll be supportive of that process. A great example is if the 5-year housing plan is one of the goals this year, that it'll be one of her main focuses, and other things will not be a priority for her, you know, in that sense. It also mean supporting ongoing professional development, sending the conferences where.
Yeah, no, is this not something we want to do for all staff though?
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
we use these priorities to say to the public, like, this is what we're working on, this is what staff is working on. Like, please, like, we cannot, you know, respond in 24 hours for something that's not a non-emergency, that
Yes.
isn't. useless.
Yeah, I think what I will say when this is all done is, once the board votes on the goals and objectives, that is my direction for my staff on what they should focus on. And when someone comes with something not on that priority list, if it doesn't fit in, that we have the ability to say like, hear you, we'll work on it, but you know, it's gonna be somewhere in the list and maybe not top priority for us.
I would almost change that to support EDD goals or actions or something, because like, of course, we're gonna support her. I mean, we're gonna support all of the staff. But like, we're talking about the goals and making sure that we're in line with what she's doing.
Sure.
Or she's in line with what, you know, whatever, we're both in line with each other. So with her work or with her, whatever you want to say.
Very quickly deviate, or maybe I'll have to share this. Ray, you know, I don't know if it's a good idea to see, we have like 15 minutes left.
Right.
Yeah.
On this, if there are a lot of people in the audience, I don't know if they're here to make comment on your goals objectives, so my recommendation would be to see if there are people who want to speak. If they do, you know, maybe you can hear from the public for a bit, we know what you think of this, but we have
Yeah.
more than normal here, and so if they are here to speak about this, I think that you got opportunity to let people.
And so we need to have 12 minutes set aside. Vote for.
Yeah, the zoning administrator appointment will be quick. I don't know how much time the select board needs for their decision on the bond vote. I said 10 minutes. If they can't decide 10 minutes, we can always push it to the next meeting. But there's also citizens' comments at the end. I don't know if someone's gonna want to comment something not related to the goals and objectives. So I'd say we want to be moved on by 15:15 the latest.
So if there's any comments about goals and objectives,
Yeah,
Why not?
so just goals and objectives, and then we'll do any other comments at the end.
Yes.
We are doing, oh, we have a
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Would you like to set your timer?
I will.
Susan will be handling it. Excellent. Thank you. Awesome. So my name is Nicholas Selden, as you know, and I live in Woodstock, and my business is in Woodstock. And I am here before you today because there is a merger that is being discussed, and I see your goals and objectives included. I believe Ms. McElroy said support. Sorry, I will never pronounce that correctly. Elizabeth had said that essentially,
Sorry, it's
that-
Elizabeth.
please do not interrupt me.
Excuse me.
So first of all, your
You are
goals
welcome
and
to make public
objectives,
comments. Not
your-
welcome to solve the
your
problem.
objectives were to essentially
Excuse me.
not, please stop interrupting me.
No,
Please stop
not.
interrupting me.
we're not,
Please stop interrupting me.
excuse me.
Your goals and objectives today
We're not here to
were
insult
to
you,
ensure, this is my time.
but you're
this
not.
is my time.
It's insult me,
This is my time, madam. Please stop interrupting me.
right?
Thank you. Your goals and objectives were to support employees, which we know is not true.
Okay,
And you had mentioned an
Nico.
intention.
Dick, the goals and objectives, no personal comments.
There are no personal
You
comments,
just
Ray.
threw a personal comment on. So
There are no personal comments.
goals and objectives only. If you're not gonna stick to the goals and objectives, we'll get somebody else to speak.
Oh, give me a break, Ray. I am sticking to
Excuse
the
me,
goals
please do
and
not
objectives.
insult Ray.
Madam, please stop interrupting me. I will not be tolerating this. I will give my statements and I
There's
hope
proper
this is,
in this room, and if you want to abide by that, you are welcome to say what you need to say, but please do not insult a member.
I think everything, there has been no insulting going on. I don't know what delusion you're currently under. In any event, the point is that you actually don't care about taxpayer dollars. You claim you do, but you don't. And I'm curious, in this merger, I have an observation that hasn't really been discussed. If there's a merger of the village and the town that occurs, would that therefore make the town taxpayers liable for the $5 million lawsuit that is pending
Okay,
against
that's
Mr.
it.
Duffy
That's it.
and
You're
Ms.
done.
McAvoy?
You're done.
So the answer is you will not discuss that?
No, we're not discussing it.
You're discussing goals and
Goals
objectives
and-
in a merger.
You're talking about a specific issue. So unless you're gonna be about the broader issue, fine, but never mind the specifics and innuendos. You've got about 30 seconds left, so
So goals and objectives is not specific, Ray?
the goals and objectives are specific, not to what you're dealing with.
What do you,
Okay.
you make no sense. I just
Oh, yeah.
continue on. I'll deal with you later.
I can hardly wait.
I am sure.
Okay, anyone else? Goals and objectives?
Just have a couple of quick comments if I
Yep.
can.
And
And,
then
And
they're
we've got.
pretty
you'll be next.
specific, actually.
We just
Tom
have to take it.
Devereux. And it's more, well, it affects goals and objectives, but what I came thinking about was budgetary stuff. And I'll do this one first before I forget, but I'm no longer a trustee of public funds, but in terms of finding funding for the parks and so on, they're one of the public trust funds is run by the Billings Park Commission. And while I was on the trustee of public funds, there were years where there was more money available in that trust fund than the commission used. So it's just something to look at. And another, even smaller thing, has to do with the Vondel. I haven't seen the figures. I know, been working on, rates and so on. I've never done this personally, but I think there is a possibility of at least having some money come in, and not tax money, by signing up for carbon credits in the Vondel Valley. And, the water company, was in current use. So it really didn't make sense to try and do both of those. But now that it's not on the tax rolls, current use doesn't really affect, not something the municipalities would do. But it is a possible source of income.
Okay.
And
You got
then,
about a minute left, Tom.
what's that?
About a minute left.
Okay, and then the last thing, I'm really happy that you guys are gonna do some public meetings about the Vondel and conservation and so on. I made copies and I'm sorry, trustees, I only made 5 copies. And I think all the select board may have already seen this in Eric too. But in, well, mid-September,
For 30 seconds.
Sorry.
In mid-September, there was, discussions with the Housing and Conservation Board. And specifically, about, some changes in what the Housing and Conservation Board might fund. And, one of them involved changes to what is, was put in first.
Okay, you have to wrap it up, Tom. We have
Okay.
other people, please.
And, well, I'll give you the copies of this, so I won't go through the details. But there is a possibility, and again, I'll just give you the copies, but, that the grant would actually be, $550,000.
Okay.
But it would require changes. And Tom, select board will meet next Tuesday too, and they'll probably be discussing Fondell.
Yeah.
We want more time to discuss Fondell.
Well, yeah, and I'm hoping to make it to the public meetings too. Here's just the copy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Sure. Your name?
My name is Janine Peters and I'm a resident of Woodstock. Thank you, all of you, for all that you do for our town. I just wanted to take a very quick moment to express my support of the priority and objective of a merger between the village and the town. Just speaking from my own experience as a town resident who does not serve in an elected capacity, it can be really intimidating, time consuming, and confusing to try to keep up with the latest of what's happening when we have two governing bodies. And I'm hopeful that if we were to have a merger, engaging with and supporting the important work that you are doing would feel considerably more accessible to the average resident. Thank you for.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments about the goals and objectives?
Linda Fulkerson, Town of Woodstock, and I think Janine said it really well. Thanking you first, both boards, but just, I think it's very important to make it a priority to merge the town and the village, or at least look into it seriously. We have a hardworking staff at Town Hall, not to mention the two boards, and I think there's a lot to be gained by making this a priority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wendy Spector has a hand up online. You guys can go.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Can you all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm going to keep my picture up because I look better than I do in person. So the first thing I want to say is that I really appreciate the setting of goals. It really helps, I think, the public understand what you're trying to achieve in the broadest sense. And as the project leader of the Woodstock Village Conservancy, as you know, we're a new nonprofit with a mission to support you, the municipality, with the care of our public spaces. I feel like we are really aligned with your several of your goals. So we hoped that you'll accept our volunteer support to achieve your goals, and that we can work together to make them happen. That's all I want to say.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else online?
I don't see any hands up.
So I'll be filing a complaint with the Attorney General's office if I am not given 3 minutes of uninterrupted time. So this is your opportunity to cure, which I am by law required to give you. Are you declining that opportunity?
Nico, the 3 minutes right now,
It's a yes or no.
well, the 3 minutes right now is to discuss the broader goals and objectives.
Right.
There is some
Just a
comments
comment.
later, and I think that maybe what you will have to say is more appropriate in that context.
Perhaps that is correct, but I don't appreciate having my time run up by two people that are arguing off-topic issues with me. So, that's not right. That should not be cutting into 3 minutes as a matter of law. So do you want to give me 3 minutes or do you not want to give me 3 minutes?
Are you going to talk about the broader goals and objectives, or are you going
Specific
to
item.
be arguing with people about specific things
Well, actually,
within that?
They argued with me, but you know what? I'll save it for citizens' comments so there isn't an issue about this.
Thank you.
But thank you for complying with the law and considering that.
So we still got. So,
You want to move on to your
I
vote?
think we probably just move on.
Yeah.
We have another joint meeting, right, to go back to that?
Yeah.
Since you guys have a hard deadline.
all right, the appointees for zoning administrators.
Yeah, so I think as everyone knows, Stephanie Epel has been kind of wearing two hats for the last over a year as chief of staff, but also as zoning administrator. As we transition her away from that position, we are looking at moving the zoning administrator role to two employees. So as the board knows, see on village specific zoning, and Molly Maxon has been working mostly on town. So in front of you is a request, based on planning commission recommendation, that Emily Collins would be the zoning administrator for the village, and Molly Maxon would be the zoning administrator for the town. At the next planning commission meeting, we're also gonna ask the planning commission to make them, a backup for each other, so they can kind of still be on both sides if need be. But while we are in this holding period, whether there'll be a merger or not a merger, we feel this is the best way to kind of cover all bases when it comes to the zoning for the bylaws of the town and village.
Is there a motion from the select board to approve Emily?
I move we appoint Emily Collins and Molly Maxim to the position of zoning administrators.
So it's just gonna, sorry, the
sorry.
motion should be to make Emily Collins a village zoning
Okay.
administrator and Molly Maxim to be the town.
I'll amend my motion to say Emily Collins is village and Molly Maxim is town zoning administrator.
For a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I would make a motion to, name Emily Collins as the village zoning administrator and Molly Maxon as the town zoning administrator. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, next up is the wastewater treatment plant renovation.
Yeah, so as the select board discussed the last meeting, you know, the main wastewater plant needs renovation. You have hired with Will Tanner to work on that. They are ready to go to work towards a town meeting vote in March for the wastewater plant. The timeline is basically this week to ramp things up. So if the town wants to go forward with the vote in March, they need the green lights. If the vote's gonna be, I don't use a delayed, but pushed to another time, whether it's the summer or next November, that's also okay. They just need to know, so that we're not spending money for them to gear up when we don't need them to.
Well, I think we said we want to align it with another election. Right, so our options are March, August, or November, right?
Right.
Is that, maybe I'm misremembering. Okay,
I think with construction costs, just, you know, they're gonna continue to go up. I know it's going to be a lot of work for us between now and March, but I think we need to go forward with it. I guess my question, Eric, is whether you and staff have time to put together schedules and everything like that we're gonna need to do. I know Hoyle Tanner's all set to do tours of the wastewater plant. You all
Yeah.
can mark your calendars. So,
I think unlike the water vote where it's just us, Will Tanner's actually gonna be carrying a lot of the load for us. I think staff wise, you know, we can do it if that is the objective of the select board to focus on that. It will cut up substantial time that can be directed to other things. But I think too, as we found out, it carries a lot of weight when the board's out there advocating for something. So I think it also has to fall on the select board if you can. If it's gonna be March, we're talking about, you know, hitting go tomorrow. I'm going out there. So the board can dedicate themselves to this being the next 5 months. You know, we have a shot. If we need more time, then, you know, I'll leave a vote would probably be ideal. But yes, the staff can work on it and focus on it if need be.
should we reach Carrie on what her thoughts were?
I have not heard anything on that.
no, she said she'd be,
Yeah, I'm fine with March. I think to
Yeah.
Susan's point,
Yeah.
construction costs are just gonna go up, so.
I'll make a motion that we set the bond vote for the main wastewater plant renovation for March 2026.
For a second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Get ready to talk about sludge, everybody.
Citizens comments.
Thank you. So again, my name is Nicholas Selden. I'd appreciate 3 minutes of uninterrupted time this time. And the issue that I am trying to discuss, because when we are, well, I'm making observations. The observations I've made is we're discussing a merger of the town and the village. And the one thing that nobody is talking about is how does that affect the town taxpayers in regards to a $5 million lawsuit that is currently pending against the village of Woodstock and a few specific individuals. Is that intended to stick the verdict on the town taxpayers in order to make us cough up contribution? I think that needs to be part of the discussion. You need to inform the public on what your intention is there. I think I know why you're trying to merge the town and the village, even though it's failed many times in the past, but that is a topic that I, as a taxpayer, want to know. Is that your intention, to make every taxpayer in Woodstock pay for that verdict, which you're ultimately going to get hit with? So that's my first question. My second observation that I find very interesting as we're discussing the issues, particularly corruption in Woodstock, is that I noticed that in July, when we were conducting Mr. Duffy's annual review, and I presented to you various information, and there was some critique about Mr. Duffy's performance and the reason why other people have quit working for Woodstock. Mr. Fullerton had walked out on my comments, in fact, and I understand Mr. Fullerton then voted to give Mr. Duffy a $10,000 raise. And now Mr. Fullerton finds himself being, according to the newspaper, the director of public works, which I find very interesting because that job was not offered to other people. And I'm curious whether that was a quid pro quo. How did Mr. Fullerton get that job? I mean, he doesn't really have any experience in the vast DPW department, and there are a lot of people that are upset about that. And I am curious why that was essentially given to him. So I don't know when we can have a public meeting on this issue, but I would certainly like for individuals to be informed on how Mr. Fullerton got that job. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments? Come on up.
My name is David Brown.
Oh, can you
Okay,
hear me?
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
so make
me.
sure we get you on that camera.
that's right. Did we transition with the trustee meeting?
No,
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I will wait for that.
Okay.
Any other public comments for the joint meeting? Okay. Then hearing none, I will ask for motion to adjourn the select board.
We have to do the minutes.
Minute.
Yeah, and can we just also just announce when the next joint meeting is, so people are aware?
I think we had it as next.
I
Do we not?
have it on Tuesday. I have our select board meeting on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think we said, I thought we said 8 o'clock.
Oh,
maybe I'm-
sorry, I'm in the wrong week.
The 23rd at 8 AM.
Yeah,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay, so just one meeting next week.
Well, our regular meeting on the
Mhm.
27th and then the joint
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay, I'm on. Sorry.
So next Thursday at 8 AM here will be another joint meeting to discuss the goals, and hopefully we'll finish ranking everything, and then we can have the next meeting can focus on, you know, choosing the ones we want to focus on for next year.
Would it be helpful if we could all write things between now and then in our own minds, or at least write them down so we can?
I will always encourage the boards to do
Okay.
homework before the meeting, so
Okay.
yes.
The motion to approve the minute.
So the minutes have been changed. I don't know if that went out to everybody.
I don't believe it did. I think there's a copy there.
There were some changes, just to names. And, I think the only substantive changes were in a couple sections. It didn't reflect that the select board voted on things. Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And those have been updated.
So can we vote on these updated minutes?
yeah. Yes, they're like,
Is there a motion to approve the updated minutes?
we'll move that the select board approve the updated minutes of September 29th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of September 29th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
The motion to adjourn for the select board for the joint meeting.
I move we adjourned.
The second?
Second.
All those in favor?
I make a motion for the trustees to adjourn this meeting, but we've got another one in 10 minutes. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Okay. 10 minutes.